Hello, everybody. Today I want to take you on a journey that, if you follow through with the journey, it will turn your world inside out, quite literally. A lot of the stuff that we were brought up to believe about ourselves and about the world, these things we're going to investigate today. Well, the first thing that I want to talk about is this idea that we have that we are a separate being from other people, that we're separate from each other. I want to investigate this. I want us to look together and see if this is true. Right now, I would like you to imagine an ocean. When we look at the ocean, we see that there is a medium which connects all the sea life, the sea plants, and that is the water. So when we're looking at the ocean world, it is very easy to see how they are all interconnected by that medium. Yet for some odd reason, we don't seem to see this connection outside of the water. What is the medium that we are all sharing? Right now, pay attention to the environment around you and give attention to yourself. And I want you to observe your connection to the environment. We breathe in from the environment. We breathe out into the environment. We eat from the environment. Drink from the environment. And when we have to use the bathroom, all our waste goes right back into the environment and is recycled. We need the earth to walk on. We need the sunlight. We need gravity. Now, I want you to observe a little deeper. Is it possible for a human being to exist independent of the environment? No. We need to breathe. We need to eat. We're all inseparable from the environment. Now, the next question is, once it became very clear that we cannot be separate from the environment, is to look at the environment and see, where does it begin and where does it end? And the reason I'm asking these questions is because our mind is conditioned to put things into boxes, into separate boxes, units. There's us, there's the environment, and I'm just showing you that there is no us and the environment. They're not two separate things. There is just us, environment. So now I'm saying, let's look at the environment and see, where does it begin and end? Does it begin and end in just the area that you could see? Does it begin and end with the planet Earth? Does it begin and end with the solar system, with the galaxy, with the universe? Right? The planet Earth is inside of a solar system. That solar system is an environment which affects the Earth. And that solar system is inside of a galaxy which is filled with many other solar systems. It's another environment. And then this galaxy is inside of a universe which is filled up billions and millions of galaxies. And then this universe is part of a multiverse. So exactly where does this environment begin and end? It doesn't begin and end. If you understand, see where I'm going with this, the implications of what I'm saying. Everything that we believe about ourselves begins to dissolve. Right here with this simple understanding, just this simple insight. The idea that we have separate religions from one another dissolves, because how can I have a separate religion from you if you and I are inseparable? White, black dissolves. Those ideas dissolve. Nationality dissolves. Class dissolves. The idea of rich class, poor class. This simple understanding of that we are beyond intimately one, beyond the concept of intimate, even beyond our concept of oneness. We are so interconnected that we are like waves on a big ocean, seemingly separate waves, but we are all one big ocean. With this understanding, poverty will end, wars will end, discrimination will end, racism ends, anti-Semitism ends. All these illusions will end just by simply realizing that we are way bigger, much more than we ever imagined ourselves to be. In fact, we are so infinitely vast that it is impossible to hold an image of ourselves in our mind. Now, I'm not a religious person, but I do recall it said in the Old Testament, "Thou shalt not have an image of thy Lord thy God." And now when you're looking at yourself, you can see that we cannot even have an image of ourselves. Any image, any idea of ourselves, that is what we call an ego. Because it's not the real you, it's just an idea of you. The true self is not even everyone and everything, because that implies plural many things. We are all really one thing, one being. The word universe, uni means one, verse means song. Universe, we are one song, doing our dance. And if this is a deep insight for you and has blown you away, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Many of us were brought up to believe that there is something called the past, there's something called the present, and something called the future. Many of us were brought up to believe that we are living in linear time. I'm going to illustrate this with a pen. Linear time. Okay, that there's a beginning. There's our life that we live out, and there's an end. There's the past, the present, which is always represented in the middle, and the future. This is what we've been brought up to believe. And I'm going to show you right now that this is far from the truth. And nothing that I'm going to tell you right now As you saw through the first insight, nothing I'm going to tell you is going to be a belief, something that I'm going to try to convince you to believe. This is going to be an observation. We're going to see together if this is really true. Mind you that we had to have been taught this. Keep that in mind, that we had to have been taught this concept of linear time. We weren't born with knowing it. Just keep that in mind, okay? We had to have been taught. So let's begin, all right? If the past really exists, if there really is such a thing as a past, right now, if we were to just drop our memories of the past, what evidence do we have that the past actually exists outside of our mind? I know these questions are not questions that you normally hear. I purposely ask these type of questions to stir trouble. Trouble inside your belief structure. I'm questioning the beliefs that we were all brought up with. Okay? So if it's giving you trouble, then that means like my question is doing its job. So right now, look, where is the past? Where is it? If we were to just drop our memories, say, okay, we're not going to use memory now. Let's leave thoughts aside. No more thoughts about the past. Where is the actual evidence that the past exists? Some might say, oh, well, they are photographs, they are videos. Okay, so I want you to we're going to go through this, okay, about images, a photograph. Let's say I'm taking a photograph right now, right? I take a snapshot. I'm taking a picture. Now, I'm taking the picture when? In the here and now, right? I can only take action in the here and now. In fact, I can never take action outside of here and now. It's always here and now. Right? I experience myself here right now. So I'll be snapping the photo in the here and now. Now, when I later develop the photo, right, we're using just these words because that's the way this language has been designed to speak in these type of linear time way. So when I develop the photos, I'm going to be developing it in the here and now. When I look at the photo, right, I'm going to be looking at it. I'm looking at the photo here now. The photo was taken in the now. I'm looking at it now. Exactly when did this photo was never actually taken in the past? I'm trying to show you that. The past is just a memory. And I want you to look at this right now. Tell me any event that occurred in your life that did not occur in the now. You're watching this in the now. You're not watching this in the past. You're not watching this in the future. You're not even watching this in the present, because the present, the concept of the present is a still frame of like a unit moment, right? And we're not experiencing a still frame. We're experiencing a continuous flow. But it's all experienced here now. So I want you to ask yourself, has there ever been any type of event, any type of experience that you've had outside of the here and now? It wouldn't be possible. You wouldn't even know you had the experience if it wasn't experienced in the here and now. So experience can only happen here now. It's now. And it's still now, right now. The now hasn't disappeared. I want you to see, when is it never not now? Look, the now doesn't end. It's still a continuous right now. It's still a now. It's still now, 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 now. The only thing that's left right now of everything that I've spoken about is just a memory of it in my mind. The beginning of this video, just a memory. But where is the past? Where is it? If I just drop the memory, where is the past? It doesn't exist. The only thing that we know is the here and now. That's the only evidence really that we have that we exist, is because we know that we are here now. I'm going to get into that, about that knowing that we are here. We're going to go into that one step at a time. So, now that we see that the past doesn't exist, I want you to look at the future. Where is the future? Where is it? We're so convinced that it exists. I want you to look for it. Where is the future? It's still now. The now, it never ceases to be now. Where is the future? It doesn't exist. It's just a thought. Even the present moment, that still frame that we call the present, is also a thought. And reality is not a thought. So now is all that exists. Here now, not even this moment, just the here now is the most real. It is the most real place to keep your attention. The past is fleeting. It just evaporates. It disappears into nothingness. Everything is just going, disappearing, vanishing. Only memories are left of it. Future doesn't exist altogether. It's just the now. So then what I'm trying to say is that life is not linear. Time is not linear. Time, if anything, is more vertical than horizontal. What do I mean by that? So in the old model, this is the present, this is the past, this is the future. In the lucid living model, this is the now. Okay? This is the now. And this is, the pen represents all possibilities that are happening and could happen in the here and now. Because as we just observed our experience, here and now is all that exists as far as time is concerned. So knowing now that now is all that exists means then that all our experiences and all the experiences that we can have, that we're gonna have, is represented as this. This is the here and now, and you can go to any experience within the here and now because they're all happening now. Look, it's still now. It never ceases to be now. I mean, you can check any point in your life and see if it ever ceases to be now. Even if you hypothetically were to go into a time machine, right? Whatever that means, and allegedly went into the past. We're gonna say allegedly because we see that there is no real such thing as a past. But let's just say you did, right? You would have entered the time machine in the now, and when you got to that timeline, it would still be now. The reason why you would even be able to access that what we call the past is because they're all happening at the same time. All these layers of possibilities are all happening at the same time, which is why it's possible to build something like a time machine. But you're not traveling into the past nor into the future. You are just traveling to another possibility that already exists in this here now moment. And you don't have to take my word for it. Like I said, you do your own investigation. Look right now and see if you can ever experience anything outside of the now. The earth, when they're measuring the time, they're not measuring time, they're actually measuring speed. They're measuring the speed of the earth, how long it takes the earth to rotate around itself. They measure the speed of how long it takes the earth to rotate around the sun. It's all about speed. It has nothing to do with time. Time is now. They're measuring speed, not time. If a year was a year, no matter where you'd go, a year would always be 365 days, but it's not. A year is only relevant, 365 days. Being a year is only relevant to Earth. You go to another planet, a year is either longer or shorter, depending on how far away you are from the sun. Also, you can look into this, that the faster you're traveling, time appears to slow down. Time does slow down. The faster you go, it slows down. Look up the experiments that were done. There was experiments done with an airplane. One person on the floor, both of them had a watch. They told the pilot to fly around for half an hour. They called the pilot down. The person on the ground, it said 9:30, and for the pilot on his watch, it said 9:20 something. So I don't want to say the exact time because I like to be very accurate about what I say. So if I'm not entirely exactly sure, one thing I know is that the pilot's watch showed that it was earlier than the person on the ground. And so they concluded that the quicker you go, then time slows down. So if time was actually a real thing, it wouldn't change. A second would always be a second, no matter how fast you go. That's why time is so weird when they're trying to explain it in a linear way when it comes to space-time and speed and stuff like that, because it doesn't work in the way that they're explaining it. They're not measuring time. Again, they're measuring speed. And because they're calling this time, that's why it's always falling apart. Their model keeps falling apart. It doesn't add up. Like I said, a minute should always be a minute. A second should be a second. It shouldn't be then that if you go to space, then and for a few years, if you're in space, that many decades will pass here on Earth. That shouldn't make any sense. That shouldn't be possible, because if a year was a year, it would be a year anywhere, anytime. But it's not. That's because we're not living in linear time. These are all these things you can investigate yourself. You're not going to find these things, these answers in a book. The way to find the truth is to observe the here and now. The truth is here, right in front of our face. But instead of observing the truth, we want to be taught by somebody else. And people are giving their opinions and stating it as truth. And so we're going to investigate everything. We're going to question everything. Because if you are really a truth seeker, you wouldn't want to believe anything. Because you could be believing a lie, potentially. And a truth seeker doesn't want to potentially believe in a lie. They want to know the truth. And therefore, you have to be your own scientist. You have to make your own experiments and draw your own conclusions and to find the truth. And you should even double check your work like I do to see if it's true. Like I try to disprove that everything is connected. Couldn't disprove it. I try to disprove that time is not now. I'm like time is now? Nah, I'm gonna try to disprove that. I can't. Couldn't disprove it. Could prove it, but I can't disprove it. So that's how I do my investigations. Another thing is, there's a lot more to this. You know what? I'm just gonna draw this right here, and I'm gonna make a part 2, because I want you to absorb this material. I don't want to overload you in one shot. I want you to sit with this, contemplate these things, reflect on these things. And then come to not your truth, because if it was your truth and my truth, that's called an opinion, that's not truth. Come to the realization of the truth, that which could be proven but cannot be disproven. That which undoubtedly could be proven, but no way that it could be disproven. Thank you guys for listening. I bless you all with love, with light. And when I speak of light, I speak of wisdom. Because love and light come together. They're one. They're 2 poles apart. Love and light. Light and love. We are much greater than we've ever imagined ourselves to be. Stay tuned for more. Check out part 2. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.